Criminal Minds, Evolution Season 3, or Criminal Minds Season 18, depending on how you number it, came to an end, and the finale cleared up several lingering plotlines while leaving a few big gaps to fill for next season. The episode finally revealed the disciple, aka Tessa Lebrun, a woman whose existence we just learned of in the previous episode, somewhat undercutting the story's impact heading into Criminal Minds, Evolution Season 4. After the previously on recap, the Criminal Minds, Evolution Season 3 finale opens with a flashback of a much younger Voight stealing Cyrus' pictures and packing up with the intention of leaving, first having to confront Cyrus and strangle him almost to death before Cyrus gives up and allows Elias, then Lee, to leave. We then jump to a bit later as Cyrus drinks in a bar, where he notices a morose young woman who seems to be having a bad day sitting next to him. Her name is Constance, but she goes by Tessa, and just like that, Criminal Minds, Evolution Season 3's mystery character is revealed. They strike up a conversation, and he gives her a sob story about his wife being dead and his son leaving him. She tells him that she is working on her PhD in mechanical engineering, but her professor tried to sexually assault her that night. Of course, this friendliness is all a ruse on Cyrus' part. As she leaves the bar, he jumps her in the parking lot and kidnaps her. Fast forward to present day and we see the current Tessa, now fully revealed as the disciple, in the abandoned plant with her minions where they're holding Voight and Dr. Julia Ochoa captive. As the BAU tries to figure out what happened in the hospital massacre and where Voight and the doctor are, and Evan flips out about the PR nightmare Voight's seeming escape has caused, Voight and Tessa come face to face for the first time. Throughout the episode, Tessa makes it clear that she is desperate to trigger Sicarius and revert Voight to his old ways. She's clocked that Voight cares about his doctor, so she starts there. She tries to force Voight to kill a bound Julia, but Voight turns on Tessa's accomplice, Perry, whom we saw in the previous episode, and beats him to death to protect Julia. Either way, Tessa is okay with it. Voight still killed and admitted he felt like a god. Meanwhile, the BAU figures out that Dr. Ochoa's passwords had been compromised by Tessa in a phishing scam when she posed as a colleague from the UK, and that's how she gained access to the doctor's system, including her notes on Voight. They also pieced together that Tessa was a young woman who had gone missing, and that Cyrus must have kidnapped her to become Voight's replacement. After he kills Perry, Voight is seemingly resurrected as Sicarius and on Tessa's side, but it's clearly telegraphed that he's faking it. Indeed, he is. He gains Tessa's trust enough to get a gun, where he fakes shooting Julia in order to make it seem as though she's dead and thus protect her from Tessa. He also sends out a message to his followers on the Sicarius network telling them to lay low, but includes a decryption that gives the location of every single person on the Sicarius network. It's no accident, he knows Garcia will intercept and crack the code, and that's exactly what she does. He secretly hands the BAU the means to bring down the entire network, unbeknownst to Tessa. When the BAU shows up at the abandoned plant, they find Julia Ochoa, who frantically tells Rossi that Voight saved her and that he doesn't want to hurt anyone, except maybe himself. Indeed, Voight drops the act and pulls a gun on Tessa before JJ and Tyler show up, and Tessa temporarily escapes. Voight screams at JJ to kill him, threatening her with the gun, but she walks slowly toward him and tells him she knows he won't pull the trigger on her. She's right, he gives the gun up, unwilling to kill someone else. In another section of the plant, Tessa and Prentice engage in a brief standoff as Prentice tells Tessa she knows her life should have been different, that she should have been building rockets to the stars but that her soul had been robbed of her by evil men. Like Elias, Tessa appears determined to die by suicide by cop, but the agents tackle her and take her away in cuffs. In the aftermath, Julia Ochoa sits across from a handcuffed Voight and thanks him for saving her. He apologizes for everything he put her through, and she tells him, incredulously, that he saved her life and that he had a choice to choose the good and he did. Don't lose faith, she implores him, to which a defeated Voight says, heartbreakingly, that he doesn't have any faith to lose. He then confesses to Rossi, desperate to be justly punished for his crimes. As the BAU team celebrates taking down the Sicarius network for good, or so they hope, Evan reveals he's off the case, but they go out for one last drink. The finale ends with a handcuffed Voight, back in an orange jumpsuit, being transported on a prison bus to maximum security prison, but not before he has a brief and violent daydream of murdering one of his fellow inmates on the bus. Is Cyrus really Voight's father, and did he set the fire that killed Voight's parents? It was all a lie by Cyrus. Earlier in the episode, Tessa tells a captive Voight that Cyrus killed her parents in a house fire. As he did yours, she then says, prompting an understandably confused Voight to clarify that, no, he had been the one to set the fire and kill his abusive parents. Tessa, however, is adamant both that Cyrus is Voight's father and that he was the one to set the fire that killed Voight's alleged aunt and uncle. Voight may be a reformed psychopath, but he's not crazy, and he has clear memories of the fire. So it wasn't surprising that he dismissed Tessa's fervent insistence that Cyrus set the fire. Still, it was a confusing scene, especially considering the episode immediately dropped that thread of what would have been an enormous reveal had Cyrus really been Voight's father. Voight is certain that his parents were his parents and that he set the fire, but his mind has been messed with so much, even before the amnesia, that it wouldn't have been surprising had it been a secret Cyrus had kept from him. It would certainly explain a lot about Voight's development into a serial killer. Still, the likeliest answer is the one Rossi offers up later. Voight definitely was the one to set the fire and kill his parents. But Cyrus really did set fire to Tessa's parents' house, knowing that his parents' deaths were an important point of Voight's origin story. It wasn't perfect, after all. There's a big difference between Voight, then Lee, killing his own abusive parents and Tessa's seemingly normal parents being killed by someone else. Still, it was better than nothing. By killing Tessa's parents, Cyrus ensured, like he had with Voight before, that Tessa had no more connections to the world and nobody else to rely on than him. By taking away the last people who loved her, Cyrus made sure no one would come looking for her. Telling her that he was Voight's father, and that he set the fire for Voight was a manipulation on his part. That's certainly why he kept referring to Voight as his son, from the very first moment he met Tessa in the dive bar. It's entirely possible that, by that point, Voight did consider Voight Ali to be his adoptive son. However, it's equally likely that he simply used it as an excuse to generate sympathy and lower Tessa's guard as he shared his own sob story. From the start, Cyrus was sizing Tessa.